Yeah, how do I sound with it when I hit the ground? 100-mile finish. My moment now ain't no mouth sentence. I'm on the prowl and my style fitted. My time, give me high fives. Get a picture of the wise guy. What's a wave to a high tide? Never stuck when you my size. Man, this my, I said it's my moment. I said it's my moment. I came here to own it. Man, it's my moment. Man, it's my, I said it's my moment.
Welcome to what is about to be our final match here for Challengers Week 2, and it's an interesting one, Noah. It's two teams that we weren't possibly expecting to see, definitely not on that lower side. Uncheerful endings on a bit of a run to get to this final matchup. For Serani, I think when you look at this lineup, it's expected, but how they got here, a bit of a surprise as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of saying, oh, maybe a surprise that these two teams are through the semifinals. At the start of the day, you know, you look at the names on these teams, you look at what's going on. Shouldn't be a surprise that Serani are here, but I watched that last series, Formal. They lost 8-1 in one of those games.
You just let your opponents get it out of their system, okay? Let them score all the goals. You'll be fine later on.
Genius.
Exactly.
Make them waste their goal budget on a single game when, you know, because you win by 1 goal or 7, still just a win, and then they don't have any more goals left to score later on. It's genius.
Exactly. And then when you get to the Game 5 overtime, you have Pagsy, who I'm more and more convinced is the most clutch overtime Champions Field player in OCE. We'll get those goals. It will happen. So now Serani, they're in from that upper half. But yeah, uncheerful ends. I'm surprised with this team. That win over Tiki Taka definitely would have been a fun series to watch. They only allowed 4 goals in 5 games, which is impressive in its own right. And for Matthew, Cheery, and Morris, we saw them on stream earlier. They looked very consistent against That's Crazy. Morris in particular, I'm surprised to see how strong they're looking. We could have a proper series.
It's going to be, I think, a really, really interesting series. As you say, the other semi-final looked kind of as interesting as the one that we watched, and our semi-final was really interesting. The 2 games that Uncheerful Ends lost in that other semi-final were 1-0 shutouts, right? They just got scraped by. And honestly, that makes me a little bit worried, maybe potentially, for how this matchup for them goes against Serani. The matches that were won against Serani in our semi-final were won because, yeah, Hawk could just score whenever he wanted, it felt like, right? And if Uncheerful Ends don't have anyone who is kind of putting those scores on, Serani's attack, and when they felt in control of the game, they started to look very, very comfortable.
We'll see. I mean, when I look at this Uncheerful Ends, like, my eyes are kind of more on Cheery and Matthew to be possible carrying forces for them. It could go either way. Matthew, a young up-and-coming player, has been finding success in the high school scene, actually, so it's cool to see them in an event like this. Cheery has been in the bubble scene for a while, but is always one of the stronger players on that bubble scene. Morse, up-and-down player, has been a part of some great lineups, has been part of some so-so lineups, and probably actually the most experienced player on this team as well. They could do it. Don't let that fool you. I don't like, again, when you look at the strengths of the players, that makes sense, but when you look at the quality of the games, I think it gets a little bit more dicey. I don't know. It's going to be a weird one for me. If Uncheerful, I can see Uncheerful Ends doing it. Like, I don't want to discredit them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I said during our other semi-final that if you were Uncheerful Ends, you were maybe hoping that it's Serani who show up here, because I think Serani, they definitely had the higher highs, but they had some of the lower lows in that other semi-final. So if you're a gambling man, you know, maybe you just hope that they do show up and have some of those lower lows in this final, that you are able to maybe take a little bit of advantage of that and ultimately qualify for the Gauntlet tomorrow, because Formal, that's what it's all about in this final. Yeah. Top 1 goes to the Gauntlet. Second place has to settle some points for the end of season's final.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't get any easier from this point on, because it will be the Gremlins as well in that first round. So you've got Cabo, Laxton, and Caleb up first tomorrow against whoever wins this game. And I mean, that's fitting, right? Because those, again, the Gremlins, they're always that benchmark team. You know, if you want to be a top 4 team in OCE, that's the team you want to beat. So it makes sense in that regards. We'll see how it comes through as we kick this one off. 5 minutes on the clock. Serani in blue, Uncheerful Ends in orange, and off the kickoff, Morse looking for Cheery. That could be a shot on. Instead, it'll be backward. Matthew, with help from the demo, gets the first goal.
Formal, it's happening again. It's happening. Our last series started with, what, back-to-back kickoff goals? It's happening again, man.
I mean, that was just smart play though. Like I don't hate that kickoff.
It was as a kickoff goal. Yeah, it was actually well worked to get it across the line in the end. Still a kickoff goal, and still very early that we're seeing Serrani drop behind.
I mean, yeah, it still was, but just the double cross-up using the backboard twice, you know, being fast and efficient before your opponents can establish themselves. I mean, the reason why I like kickoff goals like that more than just the, you know, better cheat gets beat or whatever, is because, like, the kickoff is realistically the part of the game that you should be able to practice the most as a team, right? Yeah. That should be where you have your drawn-up plays. That's the most consistent element of a Rocket League game. So when you see smooth kickoff goals like that, yeah, those are fine. It's when you get the, you know, a bad beat because of a stupid cheat. Then it's not.
Yeah, this is some sick coke, I gotta say. Hey, Fades might score. No, it's off the crossbar, and Bagsy not able to get a follow-up as well. It's going to be racing back in defense at the moment. It's Kaka just playing it slow. Over to Fades. Clever pass in defense, giving Fades a lot of space to work with, but Cheery will collect that first touch.
Yeah, now it's going to be Pagsy, just straight shot into Cherry, who will start to bring it back. Has Matthew behind, but Fades will put it over the top as well. Yeah, you didn't score, I did, says Matthew, as they put it in their own net.
God, I do love Fade's banner every time. Nobody on stream can see it, but it is the sunglasses dropping slowly from the sky, and that is a very kind of... That's what that goal deserves, right? Just shades down and fade away into the night.
Yeah, I mean, it was just... it's very similar to some of the goals that were actually scored against Serrani last game, where there's a gap in the middle of the field, just put it straight on, and it's going to find its way in. Well, now Cheery has Morse across the middle, has Matthew behind. It's going to be Matthew who has to challenge against Pagsy. Let's see if they can come together here. Morse hesitates, doesn't want to commit just yet, so Kaka will take it over the top, doesn't get the double.
Kaka's been quiet for a little while now, you know, had a period in the middle of that last series where it looked like they were going to start to take over the entire pitch, where they were going to be the driving force behind anything that was going on. But by the end of the series, I think Fades and Pagsy, Fades especially, had stepped up a lot more, and Kaka's still just waiting to see if in this finals can start to unlock the pitch a little bit more, but there might be a chance to score here. It's dropped again in front of the net. Morse can't find an angle to put that one on. Yeah,
it was just well-placed car from Pagsy right there, just disrupting Morse on that shot right now. I mean, the setup angle was right, but it was just a little bit too slow, unfortunately, for the uncheerful ends, and now Kaka will be able to take that one over the top. Matthew plays the middle of the pitch, throws it straight into Pagsy, who will chase this one all the way through, has Kaka underneath, they connect, Morse, nice intercept.
That was quick from Morse, saw the danger coming and put the car in a position to prevent anything happening. Kaka is going to try and put it across there. He's got a demo on the way out and will launch it forward. Pagsy is never going to be able to reach that ball. Cheery got to it far too quickly. More zero boost, trying to drop it maybe onto Matthew, but it's left as a 50. Pagsy who wins out on that one. Now there's space to work with. Pagsy will just put that one in on the tight angle, beating out the entire defense alone.
I mean, that touch right there from Pagsy, middle of the field, is what opened everything up. There was, at the moment Pagsy pushed into the corner, all three members of the uncheerful ends were in front of the midfield line, driving towards the blue side backboard. So they had all the time in the world to set it up and knock it through, even with the demo working against them. It was always going to be a goal at that point. So really well done from Serrani. They've taken the lead, and now they've nearly had to do it, Morse. It's a save on the line.
Yeah, that was Kaka, though. As I said, had been a little bit quiet for a while there, but that time around beat out a couple of players to get to the line and really made Morse think about where that ball was going to end up in the 1v1 as well. So a bit more from that from Kaka, and this might not be a 2-1 game for much longer. I think we're running out of time for uncheerful ends to find their equalizer. Obviously, there's only 90 seconds left, but it looks to be a growing confidence as well for Serrani here in Game 1.
Matthew's touch. To the backboard will be saved. And again, for uncheerful ends as well, like, when you look at this lineup, this is still a young roster. Like, this isn't really Fade's touch. This isn't really a roster, as Pagsy will get the goal, fair enough. That would have expectations to hit the Gauntlet and be like a top 4 team in OCE. Like, this is a team, their goal, I think, for right now, should be consistent top 8. Should be consistently getting to this level. And playing against teams like Serrani to learn from and quickly improve from and maybe get a win or two, like, on the way through. The fact that they got here over Tiki Taka shows that they are, you know, a little bit legitimate and they're making more steps in that right direction. But Serrani, realistically, should be another level for them.
Could be, and at the moment are. 1 minute remains on the clock. The scoreline sits at 3-1, and it is Serrani looking to start his finals off right. Ball drops in front of Kaka as the words refuse to leave my mouth. In my defense, it's like 5 a.m. here, okay? I've only had an hour of sleep for me. Why are you doing this to me?
Because you've done it to me on how many EU broadcast fades? Double touch, not going to get that goal. Now you know what it's like. Now you know what it goes through. All those, late night Navi streams. This is your brain is where my brain is at. Okay. Except at least this gameplay is interesting.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting so far. I can't argue with you on that. It's been fun. I hope it continues to be that way because this has been a pretty steady win from Serrani in game 1 as this looks like it might be one more goal for the road. The pinch down fades does manage to get it. Less a pinch, more a slap to get that one under the bar.
Yeah, it looked like he was doing everything he could to make sure that wasn't going to be a goal there at the end. Yeah, good touch from Fades though, does find it. If that had gone out, I think you just award like the game to Uncheerful Ends. You just give him that win for producing that.
Yeah, maybe. Can Cheery get one back? No. Consolation goal? No. No boost.
Nah.
Kickoff. Fair enough. Pagsy takes it. It'll drop. Overtime, not a chance. 4-1 the final score, and Serrani, like I said, that was a very mature performance from Serrani, right? Up against maybe the younger team of Uncheerful Ends. They kind of just controlled the game from start to end.
And it was Pagsy and Fades who was doing it as well. It wasn't Kaka, which is, I think, a good sign for them. And it shows that they're very confident, I feel like, in this matchup as well. Kaka was the one who was playing a lot further back, although they did have the most shots in the game for that team. But they were never really threatening touches. It was just kind of like, the shots that you make to set up a teammate after the defensive touch. Was good stuff, though, from Serrani overall. I liked how all three of them got a bit more involved. And I kind of like this approach from them. I think if they continue this controlled game, they have a little bit more speed. They have a little bit more mechanics. They should be the stronger team right now, and they're playing like it.
And I said before we started this series, Formal, that I was maybe a little bit worried for Uncheerful Ends based on the relative kind of low-scoring nature of their semi-final compared to this, because Serrani lost games when things got out of control quickly against them, when goals started just falling in, and they kind of just let the game slip away from them. And in that first match, I think I did kind of see the signs of that, right? Uncheerful Ends did not have any player who looked as threatening as Hawk did in that last series. They didn't look to have anyone who was kind of forcing the issue on that opposition goal line. And so Serrani get comfortable on defense and then show that they have the talent at the other end of the pitch without even really getting Kaka involved. Only made one really strong run down the middle over the course of that game. So there's still pressure to be unlocked here for Serrani. If they remain comfortable, I could almost see this being a sweep.
I'm kind of leaning with you as well, at the way how game 1 looked. Obviously, game 2, everything could change as well, so I don't want to start, bringing out the brooms just yet. Had that kickoff goal gone in, I would have liked the brooms, or at least the Men in Black sort of red beam thing that erases your memory. Either way, Cheery looking for Matthew. They're not going to connect on this one. Fades has a chance to get underneath it. Morse is a weaker touch. Here comes Kaka down the middle. Shots on, and Cheery has the save.
But that is one of those shots that we saw a lot of from Kaka in the last game, right? You said highest score or highest shot amount on the scoreboard for Serrani. It's just set up all of this follow-up pressure. And I don't know if it's the pressure that made that one go in, but the defense just let it get to them.
He brings out the worst in you. What was that,
Matthew?
He just jumped backwards.
I did fully reversed out of the way of that ball.
Dude, it's like, again, it's year 8 soccer. Like, oh, that ball's getting hit hard. I don't want to hurt my hands. I'm going to duck out the way.
I don't want to be the guy who brings up, in-game chat, but Fades did just say, cheers, boss, after that goal, which I think that is probably the occasion when it is most reasonable to say that.
So Kaka wasn't moving for the first, 30 seconds of this next point, and the team did not call a timeout. They just kept playing regardless. I don't know if that was a complete DC and they were, out of the voice chat or what happened there. But hey, Serrani, even in the 2v3, the defense able to hold.
Yeah, and here is Kaka with the ball. Could try and set up Fades. Goes alone instead. Matthew collects. Morse with a chance to move forward. Back to Matthew, but can't beat out the last defender. Good defense, and it holds again for Tsurani. Kaka gets a great ball forward, sets Fades up with a lot of space, a lot of time, a lot of boost. Will get demoed though. Pagsy with a follow-up, will not beat out Chiri. Kaka will launch it onto the back wall, but Morse is there to collect.
I have been liking Chiri's defense. Chiri has been the most consistent member so far, ignoring them driving into the post right there. They have been the most consistent member. I don't even know if that was caught on screen. I hope it wasn't, but they are looking good when under pressure. The problem is I got to see that same consistency from the others right now. I've got to see that from Morse and Matthew if they're going to consistently hold off these Tsurani attacks.
And Tsurani, something we are seeing from them now that we saw a little bit less of in that last series is they're just looking for big three-man setup plays right now, right? There's passing going on with all three members moving forward, and oh my god, Fades!
Woo, boy. This is more of the Fades I wanted to see. This is the Fades I was kind of like talking about previously. It was just a nice redirect down and in, don't get me wrong, but again, this player, when you look at that spring split, a lot of people were talking like Fades on a bubble team, but could be one of those players who could pop out. A lot of excitement around him. It's the touches like that in those key moments that can kind of keep that excitement up high. And again, on this Tsurani team, like this is the type of team that you want to be on to make your mark. Again, the potential here is huge. I know Fates is kind of coming in, I think, as the sub. Normally it would be Finn playing, but when you're subbing in for a high caliber team, you got to make high caliber plays. Good save from Kaka on the line.
Fates has had a couple of absolutely monstrous redirects at pretty critical times in both the semi-final and now in the final as well. It was in game 4, I think it was the Fade redirect from close to target that still managed to beat out defenders, absolutely sent them nowhere. That really kind of got them into that game 5, or at least started the momentum that got them there. So yeah, big performance from Fades, definitely making their mark on this entire run so far this evening.
Yeah, they've been looking incredibly strong right now. Kaka's going to try to take it over the top. Has Fades. Oh, no, they just let it drop. Matthew, that's more of the Matthew we want to see. Has the save off the post. Minute and a half, though, needing 2 goals. And Pagsy's just going to put one straight into Matthew. Fades. Gets bumped up high, but the ball's still going to fall down low. Matthew again makes the backward read. So much pressure being put on by a team already with a 2-goal advantage. It's just been impossible for Uncheerful Ends to generate anything so far in the second game.
They gotta find an explosive counterattack in them somewhere, because there is 3 players in front of their not so often. The crossbar will save away from Pagsy. And here is potentially that explosive counterattack as 3 players push forward, and we're back within 1.
All right, so yeah, that was, the aggression not coming through. The shot from Pagsy should have gone in. Shout out to the conversation we had off stream. Like, that shot should have gone in. It didn't quite make it, and I love that quick counter. I love how they're able to put it through. Yep. Problem is, it wasn't Game 5 overtime. If it was Game 5 overtime, Pagsy makes that. Like, that
Pagsy would have scored that 100% of the time.
Exactly. If it's a champ field overtime, Pagsy hits that shot. That's all I'm saying.
I like the pass, but the touch from Chiri, I'm less of a fan of, and I really don't like that touch from Morse as Fades bounces one off the crossbar. Well, there was a shooting chance for sure, and it was largely set up by passing from the opposition team rather than from the players on Tsurani's side.
That's back to Fades. That's a good shot. Morse here for the save, but then there's no real follow-up. And again, Tsurani now, they don't need to be that aggressive team like they were before. Oh, doesn't matter. Pagsy makes up for the missed shot.
Yeah, Fades draws the eye, and it's fair enough. Fades has been monstrous in front of net, so 2 players cover Fades, and Pagsy comes flying in, supersonic, and finds the near post and into the back of the net. 3-1 the lead, and 2-0 feels very, very likely at this point.
Yeah, in fact, I'm just going to call it now. It's impossible. Yeah. It is impossible for Uncheerful Ends to come back in this one. They're going to have to do it in Game 3, but the brooms are coming out now, Alex. Like, we're bringing out the brooms because, unfortunately, I only see 3 total shots from Uncheerful Ends in the second game. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, as the youth say, Formal, it's Jover and it's not coming back.
Well, Matthew got a goal, so that's nice.
Yeah, but it's 0 seconds. It's literally not going to help at all, unfortunately.
It was so good. Well, I mean, it was a good pass down. I don't really know if Taco was even considering rotating back. It could have been too much effort. Save that energy for Game 3. Gotta conserve
Save
your
those
energy.
thumb muscles on the boost, exactly. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Formal, I called it before the series even started. I said I think Uncheerful Ends just in what we've seen, and I'm largely, you know, going off just score lines in previous series, a little bit of match that we saw on stream earlier on, they're not a team that's putting up big score lines on their opponents. They don't have just that raw firepower. They've been grinding out wins. And Serani is not a team that are going to let them get away with that, because Serani are a team that has flair, but is lacking a little bit of consistency.
Serani is also
I think that's
team...
been the story so far.
Serani is also a team that gave up 8 goals, though, in the last series.
But that's what I mean, right? You need to start putting those goals in, and that's not the team that Uncheerful Ends is. They're not just kind of putting in 2 goals early in a game and then running away with it. And that's been game 1 and 2 so far. It's a very small sample size, I'm willing to admit that, but they're going to go down by 1 early in game 3, and if your broom wasn't out already, it's definitely time to hit the cupboard.
That's the bad kind of kickoff goal. This is not the kickoff goal we want to see. Game 2 was the right kind. This is the wrong kind. There is a right and a wrong way to score kickoff goals. Boo that play, but also it was a really nice play from Serani, actually. They just got beat on the cheek, get the goal. That's a sick double.
On target. Good save from Fades on the line, though. It was a sick double. Unfortunately, the save from Fades was equally kind of sick, going towards the own line and still finding momentum to get that ball away.
Yeah, so we're going to see what Pagsy can do. The answer is get dunked on. Here comes Matthew straight down the middle. It was a swing and a miss from Fades, but not from Kaka. Uses the post for that pinch. More pressure coming from the Uncheerful Ends, and this is honestly the longest attack we've seen from them for a good long while right now. They're just dive bombing from the middle of the field. Unfortunately, they don't turn it into a goal.
And they've used so much boost just to kind of prevent what was a bit of a failed back pass from getting any worse there. It's maybe open, but it's a little bit slow. It's never going to get back in time. Fades misses, but Cheery will miss as a result as well. A bad case of the whiffles, Formal.
It's contagious.
Going around.
Yeah, it's running around. Shout out to our producer, Dover, by the way. Doing a good work under the weather right now. He has the sniffles, not the whiffles, okay, like actually.
I mean, look, I use your bad joke and you just actually call out the fact that Dover is sick. It feels a bit cold is all I'm saying.
No, I'm saying Dover's doing great work while sick, all right? Dedication to the Rocket League, working through illness. That deserves a shout out. Okay, we want to make... That did not
Morris maybe needed to make contact there. Matthew's going to score, though. Bottom left corner, as that was a weird passage of play leading up to that. Morse just going a bit past, the ball drops dangerously, and then the 50 dropping again. It is literally just pogoing floor to ceiling there, and Matthew takes full advantage.
Yeah, good goal for Matthew. 1, 2, 3, puts it in, and I mean, I'm just going to call Morse, it was the elaborate setup fake. That's all that was, that last goal. It was all for that end goal. Cheery with just a straight-up dunk is going to make this 2-1, and all of a sudden, looks like the Uncheerful Ends are back in it.
Yeah, Fades. Right idea, maybe. Realized that, there was no way that he was getting up to that ball and waiting for the pass in field to try and cover it off. But ultimately, the execution and covering off that pass just failing. Didn't expect Cheery to be as quick as they were, and Cheery will pick up that go-ahead goal. So a lead for the first time in the series for Uncheerful Ends. And can they do to Serani what Gaming Gamers did to them that semi-final and just balloon this one massively?
I don't think they can balloon this one, but they possibly could hold on to this lead and survive. We'll see more straight down the middle, though. Was looking for a bump. It's going to have to sell for a boost deal instead. Meanwhile, FaZe is just taking it right down the center. Has Kaka underneath. That's just going to be a straight shot. Crossbar down, and it goes in with a little help from Matthew.
That's pretty clean from Kaka. The finish was always going to be a little bit difficult, but Fades drops that perfectly, loads the cannon, and Kaka will fire home. Back to a tied game, nearly half the game gone, Formal, and that lead didn't last all that long for Uncheerful Ends.
No, it did not. The pass play a bit too consistent, and again, it feels like Kaka is just kind of that, protective dad at the moment, letting Fades and Pagsy play around in the sandbox, but if things get dicey, we'll bail them out. Morse, though, off the kickoff, off the pressure, gets that goal. Once again, it is the Uncheerful Ends with the lead.
Yep. Very nice. I'd love to see Kaka step up massive in the back half here of Game 3 to secure the sweep, because has remained pretty quiet since we talked about that earlier on in the series. Has not really had to have any big standout individual moments. It's fine. Kaka's there. He's going to collect it, and he's going to get the follow-up. Morse with a chance to shoot, but it's wide of post, and Pagsy is going to be on the back wall covering it into the middle again. Kaka can look for Pagsy on the side wall here, but Morse gets aggressive off that side wall.
Kaka was like the overprotector dad, or like the dad of the team in that situation. That was not the overprotector. That was the, here's some firecrackers, go crazy with that defensive touch. Now it's going to be a pass down the middle. Morse with a chance. Get that goal. Here comes Kaka now back to the other side. Plays keep away from Cheery. Should be Matthew getting to the ball first. Middle of the field. Pass down to Cheery. Swing and a miss.
Kaka absolutely the only reason that things haven't spiraled a little bit in the last 30 seconds or so. Some really, really strong defensive work to keep that ball out of the net. And now it's Fades and Pagsy with that solid support that Kaka has provided at the back, looking to move forward. It's Kaka pushing it into the opposition half this time around with contest in the middle of the field. Pagsy sitting underneath, fades backwards, but should be turning on this one now. Rises and gets the touch. Kaka chasing underneath, collects the full boost, turns off the ball, gives Cheery time to contest. Morse is coming in, trying to dunk. Pagsy, though, is quick, and Fades just fully misses it.
But so did Matthew. There's the whiffles again. It has gotten contagious in Game 3, and also, yeah, part of my laughing before, but when Kaka pulled off the play, so did Morse, like the exact same time.
Yeah.
It was like synchronicity, both teams pulling off of that ball. Either way, through the backboard we go. Cheery plays keep away from Fades. It's a breakaway.
There's no
all
hope.
the time in the world. Give it to Matthew. 4-2 lead for Uncheerful Ends.
I am getting some flashbacks to the semi-final where when things get maybe a little bit closer, starting to get a little bit over-eager in their hunt for that goal. 3 players at the far end of the pitch and no chance of stopping any kind of counter-attack on that one. A little bit of a freebie. You'll have to take those if you are on Cheerful Ends. Can they get another one off the kickoff? Maybe put this Game 3 beyond doubt and take their first step towards turning that sweep into a reverse sweep.
I don't know. The broom's been put back in the closet, is all I'm going to say. We've put the broom away, back in the closet. No brooms today.
Halloween is over.
Yeah.
No witches.
No. Yeah, although I am going to like a Halloween party thing later today, so I might have to let the broom back out for that. Either way, Morse is going to be looking for Cheery. Yeah, Halloween parties after Halloween. It's a weird concept, I know.
That is weird.
But it's what happens when you're busy on Halloween weekend.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe a chance to put one back. Nope, it's going to go back the other way. And so what I'm going to say is formal. Everyone knows that Halloween is over and Christmas season has officially begun. Come on, man.
We're not even in December yet. How can it be Christmas time?
We're barely in November.
I know it's starting, though. If I were to go to any shopping
center,
shopping center with Christmas music is there, I can guarantee you right now.
Miserable. I'm excited. We're getting a 4th game out of this finals. It's guaranteed at this point. I'm not excited about the Christmas music, I promise. I'm not psychopathic. But this is, maybe Serrani showing some of the same weaknesses that they did in the semifinals, rather, up against Gaming Gamers, where in a close game, they have kind of let it slip away a little bit, but I do still have faith that, this time around with a 1-game buffer, they could still close this out in 4. Maybe they should still close this out in 4, but it's going to take a better performance than we saw in Game 3.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a bit of a turnaround. We'll see. I mean, the craziest difference for me in that last game, only 3 shots from Serrani, all of them from Kaka. So Fades and Pagsy.
Yeah.
I mean, Daddy Kaka let them cook in the kitchen for a little while, but now it's time, to clean up, get the brooms out, do the dishes. They didn't want to do it. They're wild kids. They just want to do the fun part, right? And so now they're going to have to try and clean up this series as a team, I think, moving forwards. I want to see Kaka get even more involved, I feel like, than what we saw in the past, even in that game. But for Uncheerful Ends, good job taking what was given to them. I mean, it was a good start pretty much from the word go in that one, and we'll see if they can keep that momentum into Game 4.
I do kind of love the, let them cook analogy here as well, because it did kind of feel like that was a game that they just needed to get done. It wasn't necessarily going to be glamorous. It was just one that ultimately kind of turned into a bit of a slog in the middle as well. And Fades and Pagsy, they absolutely did not do their chores in Game 3 here. Kaka did a great job on defense, held the line a lot at the back, but Fades and Pagsy just weren't providing the same support in midfield and ultimately turning that into attack that they had been in Game 1 and 2. So they'll need to change something up. Recipe needs to be a little bit different here in Game 4.
I'm not just thinking, if Rocket League and OCE did the whole gaming house thing, whose house would be the most fun to visit, and whose would be the house where no one does any of the chores and everything is just a mess and thrown apart?
All I'll say, I can't have strong opinions on this.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah, this is more of a Twitch chat
But
question.
I will say, I want an MTV, crib style tour with CJ hosting it.
Oh, that would actually be amazing. If when the gaming house does happen, get like CJ. But the question is, which team's gaming house do we send CJ to? Like that's.
Yeah, and I mean, they're all gamers, so there's going to be some messy bedrooms, and I just want to see, like, the disappointed turn from CJ to the camera as he walks into his 10th bedroom of the series that just has clothes all over the floor.
Oh, dude, the fridge review in, like, a gamer's house would be... Ooh, that would be a little bit, bit
fun.
wild. I would... Because it would be, I think, gamers, that one right now, at least if we're going from teams in this one, just, like... Hawk's house. I'd be so curious to see what that's like.
Could be fun. We are just getting confirmation on what's happening. It looks like there is a small delay as we make sure that all the players are actually here and ready to play Game 4 of this series. And if we hear anything more, we will, of course, let you know. But in the meantime, we're bantering flawlessly, Formal, and the fact that I've called it out shouldn't detract from the fact that we can continue this.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know what Twitch is saying. Whose house do they want to see? Nobody. They don't care. They're not listening to us. All right, good.
It's just maths.
Yeah, that's fine. they don't care. I'm now thinking of like the higher end teams as well. I mean,
ideal gases and
the powerhouse, right? That would be fun.
Sure. Mitochondria. Yes. What? I'm just Pavlovianly trained. That's not a word. I'm just fully trained. I hear the word powerhouse, and I just think mitochondria formal.
What is Pavlovian trained? Is that like
Pavlovian is the dogs where you hear the dinner bell and your mouth starts watering.
Okay, because
Pavlov.
You're in an OCE stream, so when we hear like Pavlova, we think the dessert. All right.
Also delicious. You know what? If someone wants to ring bells and feed me Pavlova, I'm all for it.
Yeah, you got to train them. When the team does well, you get Pavlova, unless you don't like it, in which case you get it when you lose. I know one person. I only know one person who doesn't like Pavlova. They do exist.
Are they diabetic? Because I could understand that being a reason to dislike it.
Not that I think about it, actually. No, I don't think they're diabetic.
It would be fair. I think you'd still like it, but it's, hey, this food might kill me, so that's a decent reason to not be a fan.
Isn't it just like egg white and sugar?
Yes. That's meringue. It's a lot of sugar. A lot of sugar to make that thing not taste like egg whites. And, a little bit of vanilla extract. Or my sister used to make some rose meringues or coffee meringues as well. Vanilla meringues. You can mix it up in there if you're making your meringues at home. Add some extra flavor in. So it doesn't just have to be lemon, because it always is lemon. Like that's Yeah.
I like the idea of
vanilla
rose.
is a great way to go with your meringue. The rose were very nice. It's very, very subtle flavor as rose.
That's why I like rose. It's always about that subtlety.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, now you got me thinking. Now you got me thinking on the cooking train.
Formal event, go out, buy some eggs, and figure out what to do. That's the thing with meringues. You need to figure out something to do with all the yolks when you're done as well, because otherwise you just have a lot of egg yolks sitting around.
I mean, you could use that for... You put it in breakfast. I mean... Yeah.
Just straight into the raw.
just egg yolks for breakfast. Why not? That's my thinking right now. Protein. Go for it.
Sure. Fair enough. Currently, we are just waiting to see what's going on. Trying to get some players back in. I think we have possibly a chance that there will be a forfeit of Game 4 here in this series. So just trying to make sure we get players back as quickly as possible. I don't want to say anything too much just yet in case we do end up being okay. It looks like we have the player back who was missing at the moment. So hopefully we're good to go, Formula. We will get a Game 4 here. Yeah, I think we're going to be hopefully on this one right now. Maybe not, though. We'll see. We'll see how it's at. Like, obviously, hopefully we'll be able to get into game shortly. Player has given the okay, so that is a good sign. As soon as things get confirmed, they are getting confirmed. All right, I think we're just going to hot drop right into this one. Game number 4 now underway. Apologies for that longer delay, but the best possible outcome, we actually get a Game 4. So let's get into it again. One game away from qualifying Serrani. Let's see if they can put it together. Let's see if they can qualify on this one, or if Uncheerful Eds can take us back to Champions Field. Kaka will be the first player up to that ball and gets under one, nearly gets past a second as well. Cheery managing to make the final block down on that fade. Follow-up, takes it off the back wall. Clever play, results in the goal as Phage will ping-pong that with Cheery and find the first.
Does this count as a kickoff goal? I mean, I saw so many defenders miss.
I don't think so.
No? Okay, good. Then I like that goal. I like it a lot. That's a great way to open this game for Serrani on this one.
As you kind of said earlier, right? It's not a kickoff goal if both teams get involved and, you know, there is actual play to get it past. And that was Fades just beating the defense on the line.
Yeah, it was just a straight-up beat. And I think, you know, sometimes external circumstances, you know, can motivate players to do great things. And I'm hoping that's going to be a little bit of the case right now for this Serrani side. We'll see how well they can piece it together. We are going to see Matthew coming off that side while looking for a double. Doesn't quite get it.
Not quite. Boost steal away from Morse though as well, and you can see on the other side of the pitch there was another boost steal away. There was just nothing to work with there for Serrani, and they end up getting punished.
It was a little bit panicked on the defense actually as well. I mean, the strange double commit in the corner when you could have had someone sit back on post, but it looks like they were pushed forward because Kaka was already there on the post. I don't know. It wasn't the clean defense we had seen from Serrani in the past. Good job from the uncheerful ends to punish. As we continue along, 2 goals in the first minute. Kaka now down the middle. Won't beat out Matthew.
I mean, it was, I think, just fully empty boost tanks on everyone on Serrani's side at that other end of the pitch. And as you said, it resulted in that little bit of panic. They just couldn't get it clean. But with full boost tanks, they are still scary. And this is why they are pushing hard. That's a good bump. Pagsy will just miss.
Yep.
And it would have been a hard shot to finish anyway. There was defense coming across to cover. Kaka, double touch down into Matthew. And it's a clear away. Morse to follow. Morse to try and beat Pagsy. Unable to do so. Maybe a chance for Fade to do something. Trying to pass across to Kaka. Hasn't worked out. Matthew in the middle. Pads only means that there's not a great first touch. But just slow playing it and really putting the fear of God into the defense there. Serrani were very slow to push forward on that.
Yeah, that they were, but now they'll get another chance on the attacking half. It's going to be Fades leading the charge. Kaka right behind. We'll get a better angle at the ball. Keep away from Morse. Can't keep away from Cheery, who misses. Instead, it'll be Matthew bailing the team out. But again, it's very slow play, and it's allowing Serrani to really set themselves up in that middle of the field right now. Morse now goes up high. Kaka should be able to chase this up. Wants to drop it down to themselves with the reset, but got bumped at the last moment by Cheery.
Yeah, that reset actually allowed Kaka to start to generate some that off the bar. It was off the bar and it was out, and there was a defender there, so it's safe for the moment. Back across face-off net, nobody to follow on to it. Morse, can he get past one? Nope. Fades collect, but it's cleared a little bit by a blue car on the way out, and Morse now gets the beat. Beats again. Great 50 against Kaka, but Fades comes in, bumps, collects ball, and wins the 50 for the team as well.
This has like been awkward now. Cheery open net goal, and it was after Serrani put so much pressure on that attacking half. They just kind of give it away a little bit too slow on a couple of these challenges. End result is a 2-1 lead now for the uncheerful ending.
That is something that has plagued Serrani all evening long, is those open nets appearing at the worst time possible. Fades off the kickoff. Launches it under the bar.
Have we had a kickoff goal every single game?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, multiple, probably.
Yeah.
We're averaging at least 2 a game, I think.
That's ridiculous. I mean, that goal was, like, that second touch exactly where it needed to be. It's practiced. It's you know it's going through. And Phage is looking to do the exact same thing again, but this time faked the second touch. Matthew read it, though. I thought we were going to see back-to-back same goal for a moment.
Yeah, I think Phage that time around just didn't have, like, it was a little bit further away and didn't pick up any pads on the way through, so no chance of getting around it. And so it will be uncheerful end surviving the kickoff that time around and going on a little bit of a hunt of their own. Kaka's outrun that ball, and now there's a little bit of space at the back, but Phage is quick up to that one. That was scary defense, though. It was maybe not the way they would have chosen to do it if they could do it again, but it has worked out. Morse will miss that ball. Phage will get a chance to shoot. Goes off the crossbar. Pagsy! Oh my lord! The first whip was a bait.
This is the most Pagsy play ever. Missed the clear across the middle just to get the sick backboard. Oh, beautiful, beautiful touch down and in. Serrani now with that 3-2 lead. There you go, Serrani. Will they be able to hold on to it? I mean, a kickoff goal would be devastating. Cheery has a chance. That's Matthew across the middle. Goes to Morse instead. Now Matthew goes up, and in it goes.
I mean, this is another one of those gray area kickoff goals, right? It comes off the immediate kickoff pressure. The defense doesn't really get set, but Matthew still has work to do to turn that one in with 2 defenders coming and sneaking it underneath both means that we're back to a tied game. And Uncheerful Ends, they're not going out quietly on this one.
No, they are not. Well, we'll see if Serrani can respond in kind. As Cheery will be looking for Morse up high, who wins it out. Going to be a deep clear over to Kaka on the other side, who immediately slows it down just to dribble it over the top of Matthew. Gouts bump, and that means Fades will back off on the play initially. Instead, read Morse to Cheery. A little bit of ping pong. Pass across to Morse, who wanted to go back to Cheery. They don't connect, so the ball just goes to no man's land. There's absolutely no one around there.
Looking for Matthew even, who had just rotated fully back to collect boost, and it's completely killed the momentum on that attack. It's set up maybe Serrani for an attack at 1 minute remaining on the clock. This could be bad. Whichever team scores now, full advantage heading into the final minute of the game. Again, that pass goes
Fades
nowhere.
with the
Again, a blue car collects. Fades with the bump. It turns into a demo, but Pagsy's first touch was to absolutely nowhere.
That if could have put that one straight, it would have been the goal. A bit of a missed opportunity for Serrani. Really disappointing on that, and now Pagsy will get Fades underneath, wanting the backboard. Goes for the reset instead. Save made from behind. Matthew has been the most improved player this series. I will say that, particularly on that defensive side of the ball. Now plays keep away from Pagsy. Fades plays keep away from Matthew. And Morse doesn't want the challenge. Has to rotate back to the corner. Fades maintains a semblance of possession. But in the end, Kaka pulls off. Morse down the middle. Finally creates that breathing room.
It may not be a lot of breathing room for Serrani, though. That shot goes absolutely nowhere. Pagsy will collect with a full tank of boost. Good 50, but it drops to Morse. There's a player on the backboard. Can Cheery do anything? Misses the touch, but it nearly waterfall down. Fades collect, uses all of the tank of boost in order to get that ball, and so there's no good clear. Feels like we're going to overtime. Feels like this could be the winner yet for Serrani.
Yeah, they just need that one more goal. I mean, Pagsy is the player to look out for in these clutch situations. Will usually find a way. Off the kickoff, here comes Pagsy. Just going to clear it down the middle to Kaka, who's going to try to go for a ground pitch. No, goes for a double touch off the ground. It was a fake second touch, but Matthew will find that top corner and make the save.
Kaka nearly finally gets loud in game 4 here, but it doesn't work out. Now Pagsy is very slow moving. Fades has been baited by Pagsy in that play as well. Kaka's quick. Pagsy's going long. Morse is alone and needs to do it all. It's infield to Kaka. A tough shot though. Couldn't get around the ball in time to get a clean one. Fades over the top. 2 players on the line. Go for that. And Pagsy will just let it roll into the middle. That can't just go in. Fades is back in time.
Yeah, Fades was back, but the pressure is still there. Matthew, backboard. Morse was behind the midfield line, but Pagsy's attempt was wild and out of control, so it's Morse versus everybody, and well, it will come backward. Matthew posting, but Cheery will not get the shot because Kaka stayed stationary, gets the save. Awkward touch from Morse. Cheery plays keep away. Kaka doesn't get the touch, but Cheery can't find the right angle either. Oh, it's chaotic in front of the net right now. No one able to get that killing blow. Oh,
it's going the other end of the pitch. It's not on target, and Matthew has it anyway. Serrani have gotten away with daylight robbery. The fact that they have not let any of those goals in. The win by rights should have been on cheerful ends, but we're still in overtime. 90 seconds gone, and now maybe Serrani start to do some attacking of their own. Pagsy goes for one, Fades in the middle, but Cheery is so quick to attack that, and it's up to Kaka to play defender, as we've seen so often in this series.
Matthew versus Fades. Matthew had the beat. We'll put it on target. Pagsy can't go. Opposite side, had to throw it to Cheery. Morse was in a much better position, so a little bit of the cross up. Still Cheery. To Kaka. Oh, there's nowhere safe to put this ball. Has to pop it up high. Fades versus Matthew. Sees Matthew set up Morse. But Kaka off that backboard has that read. Now gets the dunk on Cheery. Here comes Fades to end the game. It's off the post and out.
Kaka, that was miraculous defense. The twisting to get that ball in front of the car every time. That none of those 50s got lost, and Kaka could end it. But the shot will get blocked down by Matthew. It was a great pass up. It's a good demo by Morris to take Kaka out of the play for a few seconds. But we've seen how dangerous Fades alone can be. It's over one. Pagsy's in the middle, but not going for the ball. Pagsy to turn on this one. Attack it with full boost off the ceiling. Looking for a teammate in the middle. Bounces down. Kaka's going backwards. Fades not beaten. And the orange team push forward. Uncheerful Ends wants to end it here.
Oh, couldn't get it down low enough. A bit unfortunate there. Matthew wants the read, but runs into Morse. Teammates bump into each other. Cheery bails them out. Double commit by the defense. Pagsy has to slow it down, but here comes Matthew. Gets the beat. Where is Morse? Middle of the field, not committing. So a bit more time than I think Serrani realized to slow it down. They do so. Ball goes to the middle of the field. Kaka collects. Can't beat Matthew, though. Matthew has just been getting stronger and stronger, scaling for the late game. Here comes Morse again down the middle. And here's Matthew stalking, but not taking the shot.
Oh, Fades was, I mean, we've all been in those situations. No boost, just watching as the ball is over your head and saying, I hope someone can do something about this, because I can't. And it does get cleared. Fades lives to survive. Go and collect some pads, and the overtime rolls on deep into its 4th minute now as we do approach that 4-minute mark. It's Kaka in control. Zero boost. Tries to flick, but can't get it over Morse's head. The bump isn't good enough. Matthew clears. Kaka collects boost. Is looking to just bully that ball into the middle, but can't find the angle.
Jerry still has it stuck in the corner. Fade's going to make the play from underneath, but Matthew got there first. Now Kaka pop up. Easy touch from Morse. This spot times for Pagsy to rotate back. What does Pagsy do with the space? Gets the beat on Morse. Matthew, though, cheeky touch underneath to throw it to Cheery, so the pressure should stay for the uncheerful ends as Fades now needs to center it. Morse helps them out, but put too much pepper behind it, so Pagsy gets there first. Across the Kaka, into the corner we go. Cheery misses. Kaka's doubled. Nope, not there. It was a bit too quick for the ball.
Yeah, Fades wasn't there to collect either. There's a chance
No
here.
way.
There's nobody in net. Kaka's attacking. Just waits, sits, lets the touch come to him instead. Pagsy now forward. Ball goes high. Should be defenders there. Morse gets it over Pagsy, but Kaka's sitting and waiting for that one. Trying to collect with Fades, but not able to find the link up. And now they're under threat at the back. Kaka needs to turn in, gets demoed. And Pagsy will finally take it away and push it only a quarter of the way up the field. As now Cheery keeps this attack
Watch
going.
Matthew.
This overtime will not end. It will now as Morse goes over the defense. I think was watching Matthew Formal. They took your advice and it was bad advice.
I mean, you don't expect Morse to hit that angle, but there he goes. 4 minutes, 44 seconds in game 4. It makes sense. Uncheerful ends. 1 game away now from that reverse sweep. We're going to game 5.
I mean, maybe, yeah, the brooms, they were put away for a second there after game 3 ended in favor of uncheerful ends. This could be a very cheerful end, though, to this bracket. The challenger bracket as uncheerful ends are on the brink of a reverse sweep. That was also, what a crazy game, right? Can we just take a second? That was a 6-goal game, you know, high scoring, goal a minute, and then we went through nearly 5 minutes of overtime.
Yeah, that was a bit of a marathon for these players, and so now, gearing up to go to this game 5 is the do or die match for both of these sides. Now, last time we were in a game 5, Serrani won in overtime, but there was a lot different circumstance around that game than this one. This one, they just gave up that big overtime. Momentum is about as in uncheerful ends as it could possibly be, and Matthew has been playing absolutely unreal since game 3, so we'll see what happens as we get ready to go into this 5th game. Who's going to put this one away? Champions Field for the 3rd time in this stream. We just love this stadium. Here we go. 5 minutes placed on that clock. Only one team can go to the Gauntlet. Only one team can play the Gremlins. This game will determine who it is.
Can either team get out to an early start, maybe off a kickoff, but Morse will be denied by Pagsy on this occasion at least. We might manage to make it 10 seconds into a game without seeing a goal. Cheer, for it has happened.
Yeah, we did it. We survived. We survived a kickoff goal for once, but I mean, there'll be more opportunities, you would have to think, unless we get a 0-1 overtime victory, which would... Oh no, even then there'd be a second kickoff. No matter what,
There'll be another kickoff.
It'd have to be a 0-second goal to make it 1-0, to have only one kickoff in a game. Pagsy.
I'll say it, I don't think that's happening because Pagsy's just going to score right now. No, big save for Matthew, who you have rightfully praised as growing over the course of this series to really push the team back into it. Pass infield, Kaka will get denied as Morse comes from over the back shoulder to keep that away. Matthew, the ball pinched by Fades, back up into this orange half we go. Maybe there's room for Pagsy, but just blocked down by Cheery, who went quickly off the line to save that.
Big moment. Big moment right there. The fact that, again, the uncheerful ends defense holds on. I mean, this uncheerful ends defense has been the largest thorn, I feel, on the side of Serrani throughout it. Pagsy unable to get underneath it. I mean, the touches have been good. The goal line saves have been clutch. And Cheery's ankle! No, it's posted out. Morse won't be able to clean it up.
Yeah, both teams are looking They want this game 5. They are all going at it. There's nobody there. That's a goal. Fade scores. And maybe Uncheerful Ends wanted it a little bit too much. They've fallen into the Serrani trap of sending too many players forward and not respecting that counter-attack.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like a double or a triple commit or what you would call that one right there. That was awkward from the Uncheerful Ends. A very uncheerful goal for them. Serrani with that lead once more. I have a feeling, though, it's tough to hold on to a 1-goal lead in this one. We haven't really seen it yet. We'll see what the Uncheerful Ends can bring. Matthew going to lead that charge off that backboard. Pagsy commits, gets bumped by Morse, so that will mean a cheery touch. Kaka on the backboard is going to slow it down, wants to go for the solo play, beats Matthew over the top, beats, well, no one else, because Morse was able to clear it out.
Kaka runs into a little bit of trouble there trying to go the entire length of the pitch. There's only so much boost that you can get when you're up in the air, and I think definitely starting to run out there was Kaka. Cherry will take on Kako and win in that one. Fade, so watches that flick and reads it all the way. Goes underneath Matthew. It's going to be an orange card there first, but it was a miss on the first one. Cherry launches it along, then Pagsy just touches it safely into the corner, buying time, but the follow-up shot is good. Cherry demos Fades, but on until Fades got that save, and the play continues, still threatening this blue net, but nobody could get it there, as it was a back off from Uncheerful Ends as the boost ran out and they needed to reset.
Yeah, they're looking for something here. Kaka through that corner, get the touch that they needed, so going to go back to the other end, where we're going to watch Morse touch it down. Kaka rotates back, backboarding it. Again, it's the slow play, and it's the reason why the slow play on defense for the most part is working out is because of how deep the rotations are right now for the Uncheerful Ends. They're really giving a lot of defensive space over to this blue side, who are just content to slow it down, get educated touches, just make sure nothing threatening is coming their way. So, yeah, I'd like to see a little bit tighter of attack from the team that last time got too tight and gave up a goal.
Yeah. Speaking of tight form, well, 1-0. A demo opens up a little bit of space, and a game where neither side has really been giving either team much space at all to work with. They have still been charging that ball down the entire time, but that potentially leaves you vulnerable. Kaka getting beaten by Morris. Now Fade's looking to beat people. What a flick over the top with no boost left. Can't catch up to it. That was a beautiful flip reset, nearly putting the ball on target in the first place.
Underneath, Kaka has that touch. Morris is going to play keep away. Now Kaka looking for Pagsy. They connect, but the shot near where it needed to be. Time running out for the Uncheerful Ends. They need this goal. It is going to be Matthew, but again, Kaka just intercepted. Just patient play from the defense.
They did lose the two matches that they lost in that semi-final. They lost 1-0. This is a scoreline that Uncheerful Ends unfortunately are familiar with, and they struggled to break through in the semi-final. Will they be able to change the story in this final, rewrite history a little bit, and get themselves back into the game? Less than a minute remains. Cherry's collecting boost. That touch is just less space though, and Pagsy eventually decides to attack it. So much time was given, and Uncheerful Ends just can't afford to give up soft possessions like that.
No, they can't. Pagsy! They're not going to get that goal. There's going to be Matthew, who will clear it opposite side. Fades looking to chase it down. Through the corridor we go. Ball bounces in the midfield. Cherry has a chance. Pagsy's going to pop it up, and here comes Morse. That's a demo, but Pagsy diving from behind makes the save. It could be the Gauntlet securing one because there's only 15 seconds left.
This end of this game has absolutely snuck up on us. It has been tense, but here we are at the end. The score has remained shockingly at 1-0. There's maybe one last attack, but that clear could be a Pagsy. Got it away, has been the hero in this entire last passage of play for Sunari. And that's will this be the end? I think it is. Pagsy one more time. Who else could it be at the end? Serrani will pick the win up. It took them maybe one more game, two more games than it looked like it would, Formal. But they do ultimately walk away with the title of Challenger Champions and a spot for the Gauntlet tomorrow.
And they're on to take on the Gremlins, so a good job to them. Look, I'm going to suggest something. All right, and for the Serrani team, they don't have to accept it. But when Finn comes back, put Finn on the starting lineup, sub Pagsy out until Game 5. And then you put Pagsy back in. That way you
have we considered mid-game substitution for the Game 5 overtime?
Oh, I don't know if that's allowed, so you might have to just put him in for it. But get Game 5 Pagsy and just always put him in Game 5. He'll be the Champions Field merchant because I mean, back-to-back Champions Field did look great in that, but overall, Serrani, they were the team that we were going to be expecting to see throughout and kind of make that journey to get through there. And they had a tough journey. I mean, they played a lot of games. 3 trips to Champions Field for Serrani against the Titans, against the Gaming Gamers, and against Uncheerful Ends. But they got through all 3 times.
They absolutely did. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they go in the Gauntlet tomorrow as well, because they're throwing a little bit of unpredictability into every match at the moment. Their peaks are incredibly high on their day. On their match, kind of maybe looking like they can beat anyone, Formal.
Look, I don't want to say spoiler too much, but apparently whoever wins that semifinals is winning 4 games in the grand final right now. That's just
oh my god. The script, quick.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we covered it up. No one saw anything. That's not. But yeah, no, obviously the Gauntlet's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. It's going to be a tough run for sure. Gospel of Lockheed Power and Pioneers all look that next step up. The Quick Trip Pioneers, I should be saying. I mean, they all look that next step up. And I mean, the Pioneers, they ran the Gauntlet last week, no lag. They went all the way from the relegation match through to the end. I'm pretty sure that was how it went. Like they had to go the distance. So don't be surprised if a team like Serrani could do something similar tomorrow.
And I mean, Serrani, maybe that was all they were doing today. They got their practice in. They formed their own mini gauntlet. As you said, went to Game 5 on 3 of the 4 matches they played were Game 4 and the other one. They played nearly the maximum amount of Rocket League to get through that Challengers bracket. And overall, yeah, I mean, fun team to watch. And I say it again, there's an element of chaos that they're throwing into the Gauntlet tomorrow that I think is going to make things just that little bit spicier if they can, especially if they can make it past their first round matchup with Gremlins.
I think they have a good chance to as well. I kind of like them in that matchup. I mean, the Gremlins can be that chaotic team as well, but I have a feeling Serrani, if they continue to play well, if we see more of their peaks, I could even see them possibly challenging and getting into that semifinal. Now, once you go up against Power, that's where things get a little bit, we'll see. But I think we can see a deep Serrani run if they're able to do it. But that's not the only Rocket League happening tomorrow as well. We're also going to be having our open qualifiers for next week happening at the same time. So if you're looking to play in this event, well, qualifiers, they're tomorrow. So make sure you sign your team up for that and then have the stream on in the second monitor to keep yourself motivated. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you can do it.
Yeah. I think that's about going to wrap things up for us here, Formal. Thank you very much for having me on. I got to tell you, I'll be watching VODs of the Gauntlet tomorrow because it is bedtime, and I ain't doing the midnight run 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Don't worry, I'll be with you probably later in the week doing another stupid Friday morning, so I'll be on that EU time. But a big shout out, a big thank you to all the teams who participated. A big thank you to Dover, again, running productions while sick, and a thank you to all of you for tuning in. Do watch along tomorrow starting 1 p.m. on Victoria, New South Wales time. It's going to be noon for us here in Queensland. I believe 10 a.m. for those in Western Australia. And if you're in New Zealand, it's a 3 p.m. start time. I saw some of you in the chat earlier today, so don't worry. You got the prime time viewing. You're lucky. But for everyone else as well across the globe, I don't know your time zones. I don't care to learn them. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.